Absolutely. I think they had 23 second chance points in the first half to 0 for us. Got to give them credit, but we didn't have the necessary force. I thought with the adjustment in the second half, that's what enabled us to cut the lead to 4 there in the fourth. So give our guys credit, but we didn't have the necessary force to deal with them on the boards, and the last 2 games we have been. So got to get back to what we were doing well, but you can't have those type of numbers. It's impossible to win that way.
And what do you attribute the worst game tonight from your half-court offense from the prior couple nights?
I think it's the same thing as we had with the defensive board problem. Was we were sticky. We didn't want to make the extra movement or the extra pass or the extra movement it takes to beat defense the way they were pressuring us, and we got very stagnant with that. But give our guys some credit here. We're pretty resilient. We're not playing a very pretty game to get it to cut, but you can't dig yourself that type of hole with turnovers and rebounds. That makes it really difficult to win.
When you look at the way the turnovers kind of crept in a little bit more than what we have also seen as of late from you all, was it just the way that Phoenix was defending you guys causing those turnovers, or was it things that was careless upon your part?
You got them a little credit. They were physical, but we didn't combat that with good ball movement or getting into our stuff quickly or making the quick swing. We tried to beat them on the first pass, and that's what they do. They do a good job of playing in the gaps and getting their hands in there, and we fed right into that, and that led to the turnovers. We're still learning and growing. We're not where we want to be, and these are good lessons we have, but that's what good teams do. They up the physicality, and that bothered us, and we didn't have the necessary pace with our offense to combat that tonight.
With no Chris and no Keyshawn, you kept Tre in the starting lineup and you went with 𝗙𝗢𝗟. What was kind of the decision-making in that one instead of maybe a Bub or a JC?
You know, we've done that with 𝗙𝗢𝗟 a couple of times here. We want to put him out there. I thought he was good. You know, he actually hit a couple of threes there in the first half. Want to see his physicality defensively when we can put him with Alex and Bilal. See what he can do defensively with those lineups. And I thought he was good. He's shown good minutes every time we put him out there. So that was the reason for that. I thought he actually had some really bright spots tonight.
Other than being simply a good shooter, what does Tre do offensively that enables him to get hot like that?
He knows how to get open. He knows where to find the space. He knows how to move without the ball. You gotta obviously can make shots, but you gotta find shots. It's hard getting up shots in the NBA. He's got a knack for finding the right space, when to burst, when to come off, when to set up guys. Obviously, this is something he's been doing his whole life. His points helped carry us tonight. It helped us keep in the game, so credit to him.
What have you seen from Malaki Branham with the increased minutes that he's been getting recently?
I like how he's played. He gives us good defensive pressure, another ball handler out there, ability to attack the paint and make plays. I think he's given us good minutes. I've been really pleased with him when he's gotten his opportunity here lately.
Brian, I know you were keying in on stopping them from the three-point line. What did you guys try to do, and how were they able to break through?
Some of that was second chance. Some of that were kick-out threes. We closed short a few times. We didn't have the necessary ball pressure. They were zinging that ball around too much. Again, a little bit of a physicality part in all areas was an issue tonight. But give them credit. They swung the ball and moved the ball well tonight.
And then you mentioned Tre's ability to get his shot off. The release seems unusually quick. How unique is his ability in that regard?
It's his ability to do the work before the ball even gets there. That's the amazing part. Like, you don't just shoot it quickly. He gets his feet set quick. He knows how to move without it and get his balance from long distance. Those are really hard things to do. This is a guy who's put obviously a tremendous amount of time in working on that stuff. That's a very unique skill he has for someone his age. It's very impressive.
You talk about the long distance with Tre. As teams start to respect him a little bit more from well deep out, what are the downstream effects that can have for him and the other players of the offense?
Well, I don't think there's any, because you're going to have to guard him. Like, he brings gravity. He's already showing that. He brings gravity to the court. Their teams are coming up with coverages. They know when he's in the game. They're trying to take stuff away. Well, you don't see that might lead to a roll dunk for Marvin or for Alex or a kick-out three for someone else. Corey does the same thing when he's on the court. Those guys bring so much value because you have to guard them almost as soon as they step over half court. And he's learning how to function with our offense. He's going to drive our offense great just by being on the court and his movement. So we're already seeing that, and this is very early in his career. It's pretty impressive.
Alex, 1 for 5 tonight. Did you notice any fatigue from him playing in the second half of a back-to-back for the first time since his injury?
just didn't have his best game tonight? No, I did not, though. No.
To go back to Tre for a second, the work that you have to do before the ball even gets to you, how much of that is the physical part of moving, but how much of it is also reading and reacting to what you're seeing the defense doing?
It's a lot of the reading and reacting, obviously. He's been doing this his whole life. He's been guarded like this his whole life, so he's been used to this. Like, he's seen every coverage he probably saw last year at Texas. But these are big guys in the NBA, and he's still doing it. It's impressive. This is not an easy, like I said, like they got some really good defenders on that team. He was still able to get those shots off. Just shows you how much he's growing and functioning with how we play. And this is just the early part of his career. We're really lucky to have him.
I might be wrong, but there may have been a helping out in the strong side corner that he may want to be looking at film-wise going forward.
Yeah, we're always going to coach these guys. You can probably hear my voice sometimes too much out there, for sure.
I just took what was given, to be honest. CJ said during back-to-backs, you got to, like, have elite focus. So that's kind of, even when I woke up this morning, that's all I was really thinking about was today's game. So I feel like that kind of helped me out getting into, like, the rhythm, I guess.
Your footwork, BK was just talking about, is very impressive, especially for someone as young as you are. How have you kind of managed working on the footwork to be able to have as quick of feet as you have, but as well to as quick of a release as you have to be shot ready?
I feel like it's all props to my dad because I don't really pay too much attention to it now. But I just remember like the different shots we used to shoot when we were working out. He used to always talk about footwork. To me, it was just normal, just catching and shooting the ball. But just having my feet up under me helping the shots and stuff like that. So I feel like just stuff I was doing younger helped me out now, I would say.
Tre, you scored almost the same amount of points as basically the amount of time you're on the floor, about 24 points, 24 minutes. What can you say about how you kind of make the most of your time on the floor, especially working back from the injury?
Really just taking what's given to me. Really just trying to play off my teammates, create open shots for myself, moving off the ball, and just finding little ways to score, to be honest with you.
Tre, going back to your quick release, is that something that you've worked to, like, I guess, shorten over time? Is that something that you've actively tried to do, is, like, have a quicker release?
Yeah, I would say that's the goal, to try to get it off as quick as possible. But I feel like also it ties back into the footwork because I feel like it's all, like, a step-by-step process. So I feel like once my feet are under me and I have somewhat of balance, I guess, then I'm able to just get the shot off. So I feel like it is something I have worked on before.
And then I know Devin Booker is a guy that you've studied quite a bit. What was it like playing against him, and did you have any interactions with him tonight?
No interactions. It was kind of some of the same stuff I've seen. He did more. I guess he kind of knew going into the game we'd be more physical, especially guarding him. So he used more shot fakes to get guys off their feet. But it's coming to some of the same stuff I saw, like film-wise, watched, kind of did the same thing in the game.
Sorry. Yeah. Tre, you mentioned that CJ gave you some advice going in these back-to-backs with focus. Is there any other additional advice that he's given you with these back-to-backs, and has that contributed a lot for your last few games in play?
Yeah, he was talking to me, especially like during the timeout towards the end of the game, just about the amount of focus he put like on his body the night before, this morning, going into the back. He's older than I am, so he has to do more, obviously, but still just having that knowledge that those are the things that goes into it to still be at somewhat peak performance on for back-to-back. So I feel like that was helpful information.
There are a few times you're pulling up from the logo, even a few feet from behind the three-point line. What does it take to have that kind of confidence in this league to be able to shoot that deep from three?
I don't know what kind of confidence it takes. I don't even know how far I am half the time, but really mostly all the time. And shoot, it's really a normal shot, I would say. It's not nothing I really just work on, but I just feel like I can see the rim. I can get it there, why not shoot it?
And one of your concerns on draft night from people watching the draft when you got drafted was your defense. Do you feel like you've gotten more acclimated on the defensive side of the ball this season?
Defense has always been like a focus of area to improve just because I want to be one of the greatest players to play, and that's something you got to be able to do. But it was never a worry for me. Like, nobody has ever been worried about it. Like, if you want to call me up, that's perfectly fine. It's going to help my film look better. So that's perfectly fine. I respect that if you want to call me up on defense. But all the comments about me not being able to guard, I kind of just brush it off, to be honest, because nobody's just saying that we want to attack him the whole game.
Tre, you talked a little bit about your off-ball movement. Brian was talking about how a lot of that is physical stuff, but it's also being able to read and react to the picture. What are you learning about the looks that NBA defenses are giving you off the ball, and how are you reacting to them?
It's not so much about really me. I think the way I move off the ball, it's never really to get myself a shot. It's really to open up somebody else. And it happens to be they mess it up, miscommunication, and then I get the shot. And I usually do, like, mainly with Bub or CJ, guys that are known to, like, get downhill, score and stuff like that. So it kind of helps me out trying to just open them and free them up.
And then, now that you've played Devin Booker, does anything about you being compared to him or you studying him feel different than it did before you'd played him?
I wouldn't say I want that as a comparison. I really don't want any comparison to a player, to be honest. But, yeah, I feel like there's things, going back and watching the film, there's things I can get from the game because he got to the free throw line quite a bit, especially with, like, aggressive defense, and that's probably what I'm going to start seeing, guys having their hands on me a little bit today. So I think there was things I could watch for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think, whenever you get out rebounded, it can always, go back to effort. But I think we did a better job in the second half of trying to, put more force on the rim and crashing and trying to put ourselves in better positions to rebound. So, yeah, it's definitely a mindset thing, making sure we hit somebody when the shot goes up instead of turning and ball watching and not, hitting anyone. Yeah, I think we did, a better job second half of that. So we just got to do that no matter who we're playing. So we just got to continue to do that.
BK had mentioned the shift that happened in that second half as well, too. He also had mentioned that the necessary force he felt wasn't there in the first half. Did it feel on the floor that there was a shift in the force you guys were also playing with in the second half?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're more aggressive overall on both ends. Defensively, we're getting some stops, trying to cut the game down, and just trying to make winning plays. I think we did a good job at that in the second half. But like I said, whenever you don't do it in the first half, it always kind of puts you in a tough spot going into the second half. So we just got to try not to put ourselves in those situations and give ourselves chances to win.
Hey, Marvin. So as you and Alex don't seem to share a ton of minutes, is there anything when you're subbing in for him, are you trying to emphasize anything in particular, or are you trying to provide a different look exactly from what he provides?
I'm just playing my game, man. I'm just doing whatever I can do to help the team in positive ways. I'm not thinking of certain things. I just try to come in with, make sure my energy is there every night, make sure my effort is there every night. And with that alone, everything else will fall in line for me personally. So I just try to check in and just bring that every single night and, give my best and live with whatever the result is.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you just saw you're a team high plus 11 tonight. In your travels and, between two different stints with the Wizards, how have you learned how to be like a more positively impactful player with your time?
A lot of what I just said, it just coming in every game with that mindset of doing whatever I need to do in game to game that'll give us a chance to win. And it's different from game to game, and I just got to try to lock in on that consistency, and I've been doing a good job at that, but still not satisfied. Still, there's a lot of room to grow and a lot of room to get better. So I'm just trying to lock in on that every single game, every single practice. Every single time I'm, doing workouts before practice, and I'm just focusing on things that I can get better on and going after that. So that's a part of it as well.
Marvin, Tre Johnson was talking about going through a back-to-back as a rookie, having not been through many of them.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give to a young player having been through a few of them yourself?
Yeah, it's tough. My rookie year, that was my biggest adjustment as well as the traveling and the back-to-backs. But my advice would be just to find a routine that works for you, that that can get you ready to play these games. Man, it's the league demands a lot from you, and back-to-backs are tough. But figuring out your routine to kind of stay locked into the game and not let that feeling of being on a back-to-back affect how you play, and just staying locked in. I think that's the biggest thing. It's more of a mental thing than a physical as well, in my opinion. So, finding a routine and mentally staying strong with it and getting through back-to-backs like these and travel days where we're gonna be traveling and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Tre obviously had a pretty good game, so I think he handled it all right.
Yeah.
What has his shooting brought to this team, and how unique is his ability to get his shot off at this age?
It's great. It's great, man. He's you guys can see capable of getting his shot off, and he's pulling from deep. We a couple shots he shot. When he shot him, it was like, oh, and he made it. It's like, oh, that's a good shot. I mean, he's comfortable shooting that, and he works on that every day. You see him shooting those type of shots, and it's not really a surprise, but it's good to see him, getting into his flow, getting more comfortable, and it's always good to see your teammates, contribute in positive ways.
Marvin, Alex only had two points tonight. What did you see from him offensively that was different from games where he scored a lot more? And what advice would you give him based on that?
He's fine. He'll be fine. You have games like that. I'm not worried about it. I'm not, stressed about it. I see the work that he puts in. I see the behind the scenes, and just stay with it. That's what I would say. Stay with it. We got a lot of games left to play. You fix whatever you need to fix, and come out next game and fix those things. So I'm not worried about it. You have games like that. He's a great player. That doesn't take away from what he's able to do out there and how he helps us. I have the utmost confidence in him coming out next game and bringing that energy and effort.
And on defense, Sun shot they shot well from three, not as well from overall. But how do you kind of make sense of when the opposing team shoots really well from three, but only shoots like 40% from the field overall?
I don't know. I mean, we just try to make it tougher on them. Try to run them off the line a little more. Try to send them inside and into the crowds with me and Alex, and a lot of the guys being in the shift spots and getting deflections and stuff like that. We got to make it a little bit more tougher on them. But I think when we do that, we're really, really great. And when we have slip ups, you can kind of see it, and we just got to keep chipping away at it. It's something that over time will get better, and we're getting better, in my opinion. But we just got to keep chipping away at it.
You talked about Alex. He seems like he has a pretty good ability to have not only a next play mentality, but move on from a game pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. What have you seen with his just, calm nature over the last year and change, and how it helps him bounce back?
It's a long season for him. He's asked to do a lot for us. He understands that some games are going to be better than others, and you can tell by how he carries himself. His ability to move on to the next play, to the next game, like you said, and just continue to put the work in. That's what it's all about. Every game is not going to be great for all of us, but how you move on to the next day, to the next play, is what really matters. And I think he has that skill, and that's what makes him really good.